Manchester City fans, attention! This video brings the latest updates on what is happening at the club, with details on transfers, rumors, and everything you need to know to stay up to date with City. Before continuing, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything about the team you love. Recently, Manchester City went through a major decision. Pep Guardiola, the team's manager, agreed to Kyle Walker's request to leave the club. This was a reflection of Guardiola's respect for the player, but also a practical decision. Walker, who did not play in the third-round FA Cup match against Salford City, made a formal request to City. He communicated his desire to leave and explore new opportunities abroad for the remainder of his career, something he had expressed 2 years ago after the club's historic treble. At that time, Bayern Munich tried to sign him, but the offer did not appeal to the player, who ended up staying at City. Guardiola, in a press conference after the match, explained the situation. According to him, Walker informed football director Txiki Begiristain on Thursday that he wanted to seek new challenges outside England. He asked for this 2 years ago after the treble. Bayern wanted to sign him, but the offer wasn't good enough, and the club convinced him of his importance. "We can't understand the success we've had without Kyle. It's impossible. But now in his mind he wants to explore playing in another country and, for this reason, I prefer to rely on other players whose minds are fully focused here," said Guardiola. The decision to let Walker leave seems to be the most sensible. At 34 years old, the player, who earns $180,000 a week, is no longer at the peak of his career. While still a very competent right-back, his best days are behind him. This season, Walker made 18 appearances for City, with 5 assists, demonstrating his continued contribution. However, keeping a player who is not fully motivated to stay at the club does not benefit either party involved. Kyle Walker, who joined Manchester City from Tottenham in 2017, has become a club legend. During his time, he won 6 Premier League titles, 2 FA Cups, 4 EFL Cups, and 1 UEFA Champions League. His departure as a hero seems to be the fairest way to honor his legacy. Now, with Guardiola's decision, Walker will be able to seek new challenges in his career, while Manchester City continues to solidify its golden era in football history. With Walker's departure, many fans are wondering, will City miss him? Does the team already have options to replace such an important player? Leave your opinions in the comments below. We want to know what you think about this departure and how Manchester City can deal with this gap. Now, speaking about Douglas Luiz, another situation that is drawing a lot of attention. Reliable sources indicate that Manchester City is interested in bringing the Brazilian midfielder back, and this could happen in the January transfer window. After a disappointing first half of the season, where City couldn't fight for the top spot in the Premier League, the need for reinforcements became evident. Currently, the team is more focused on securing a spot in the top 4 than fighting for the title, which represents a significant change from what is expected of a champion team. In the midst of this search for reinforcements, the signing of Douglas Luiz has become a viable option. The former City player, who currently plays for Aston Villa, stood out last season and made a high-profile move to Juventus in the summer. However, Luiz has struggled to find his place in the Italian team, having difficulty securing a starting spot in Thiago Motta's system. Reports suggest that Juventus may release the player after just 6 months, which opens up a big opportunity for City, who are keeping an eye on the Brazilian's situation. According to sources, City has already been monitoring Luiz's situation closely and is preparing to make a move. Although the 26-year-old player is seen as a backup option for the main midfield roles, the chances of City securing his signing are increasing. The club is also in contact with intermediaries to assess the feasibility of the transaction, whether through a loan or even a permanent transfer, should Luiz stand out during his time at the club. Juventus, for its part, may prioritize releasing Nicolo Fagioli, which has delayed negotiations for Douglas Luiz's departure. The most viable option at the moment seems to be a loan, with City offering Luiz a chance to prove himself. If he performs well, the club may consider a permanent purchase. However, Manchester City is not alone in this race. Other Premier League clubs, such as Fulham, are also interested in the player, which could increase the competition for the midfielder's signature. City needs to act quickly to ensure that Luiz joins the squad. Will he be the reinforcement City needs to become a protagonist once again, both in the domestic league and in Europe? Returning to the transfer focus, one name that has been on Manchester City's radar and promises to be a real game-changer is Martín Zubimendi, a Spanish midfielder from Real Sociedad. This player stands out for his defensive ability, vision, and long passing range, skills that make him the perfect candidate to strengthen City's midfield. As you may already know, Real Madrid is also highly interested in the player, aiming to find a successor for the legendary Toni Kroos, who recently retired. Real Madrid has been searching for someone with the same football intelligence and ball control that Kroos possessed, and since the start of the season, Zubimendi has been identified as the ideal target to fill that role. The 24-year-old player is highly valued by both fans and experts, who see him as the next big name in Spanish football. His ability to control the midfield, break up opposition attacks, and launch counterattacks with precise passes makes him a key player for any team, which explains the interest from European giants. But what many didn't know is that Zubimendi was very close to joining Manchester City at the start of the season. He traveled to England for medical exams and was ready to sign with the Premier League champions. However, in a surprising twist, the midfielder decided to stay in Spain and remain at Real Sociedad, postponing his potential transfer to City. This decision was a huge disappointment for City fans, who were already excited about the possibility of Zubimendi being the missing piece in Guardiola's system. However, it seems that City has not given up on him. According to recent reports, the club is preparing to make a new bid in the January window, with a solid $90 million offer that will certainly catch Real Sociedad's attention. Why would Zubimendi be a good addition to City? The answer is simple. His playing style would fit perfectly into Guardiola's system. City's manager loves players who can control the tempo of a match and have the vision to make precise passes, as well as being excellent defenders when needed. Zubimendi has these qualities and much more. Furthermore, with Rodri's recent injuries, the team needs a midfield reinforcement to ensure City continues to dominate both the Premier League and European competitions. However, the battle for Zubimendi will not be easy. Real Madrid, still eyeing the player, and Liverpool are also interested in signing him. The competition to secure his signature will be intense, and the negotiation may turn into a real chess game between the clubs. Although Zubimendi has expressed interest in joining Madrid in the future, he has also shown signs that he could be open to joining Manchester City, especially considering Guardiola's playing philosophy and the prospects of winning titles in a team that is already a global powerhouse. What may attract Zubimendi to City even more is the club's financial stability, the potential for winning major trophies, and the key role he could play in one of the best teams in the world. For Manchester City, signing Zubimendi would be a smart move. Besides having the technical qualities to stand out in a world-class midfield, the Spanish player would bring fresh energy to the team and could become a key figure in the near future. And of course, the idea of a significant reinforcement for the central midfield could be exactly what City needs to regain dominance in European football and continue their pursuit of a third consecutive Champions League title. Now, what do you think, City fan? Would Zubimendi be the right choice to strengthen City's midfield, or should the club look at other alternatives? Share your opinions in the comments below. We want to know what you think about this potential signing and the impact it would have on Manchester City's future. But the news doesn't stop there, as the transfer market is heating up. As you already know, Manchester City is always on the lookout for market opportunities, constantly seeking to evolve and strengthen. And with the January window approaching, movements within the team cannot be overlooked. City's focus is on ensuring the team is stronger than ever for the second half of the season, and Zubimendi's potential arrival is just one of many options being considered. Additionally, with Kyle Walker's potential departure, Manchester City is also monitoring the right-back market. The departure of the experienced player, who has been an essential figure since his arrival at City, will leave a significant gap in the squad. This could be an opportunity for the club to reinforce this position with a big-name player who meets Guardiola's demands for excellence in all areas of the pitch. What is clear is that Manchester City will not rest on their laurels from last season. The club's ambition remains high, and Guardiola has no intention of allowing the team to become complacent. City wants more titles, and for that, they need to continue strengthening and evolving. With the January transfer window approaching, Manchester City, under Pep Guardiola's leadership, continues to prepare to further strengthen their squad. In addition to the possible arrival of Martín Zubimendi, the club's major concern has been the need to reinforce not only the midfield, but also other positions, especially in defense, where the departure of Kyle Walker has left a significant gap. Walker's situation, as previously discussed, is a decision that reflects both respect and pragmatism. At 34 years old, the English right-back decided to explore new opportunities outside of Manchester City, and the decision was made after a conversation with Cheeky Begirstein, the club's director of football. With this change, City now has an open spot at right-back, and the question is how to fill this crucial position. Although Walker has been a central figure in City's recent successes, Guardiola's decision seems to reflect the constant search for innovation and renewal within the squad. And with this, City is looking towards the future, whether through signing new players or potentially promoting new talents from the academy. Of course, if Walker's departure creates space for someone younger and with great potential, the team would only benefit. Speaking of potential signings, while Real Madrid and Liverpool are trying to find solutions for their respective squads, Manchester City continues its quiet and effective work in the transfer market. What is known is that the club is looking for names that complement Guardiola's playing philosophy, which requires intelligent technical players with great adaptability. And of course, the team needs athletes who can integrate quickly into such a dynamic and well-structured playing system. Another name that has been circulating in discussions is Douglas Luiz, a player who has already passed through City in his youth but didn't get many chances in the first team. The Brazilian midfielder has stood out in recent years at Aston Villa and has been highly sought after following his impressive performances in the Premier League. The January transfer window could be the opportunity for City to bring back a player who, in theory, has what it takes to help strengthen the team's midfield. What sets Douglas Luiz apart from other options in the market is his experience in a highly competitive league like the Premier League and his technical playing style, which would be an interesting addition to City's midfield. For Guardiola's team, having someone like Douglas Luiz could be a practical solution, without the need to bet on a player who would need time to adapt. However, as we've already mentioned, it's not only in midfield that Manchester City has plans. The team is also keeping an eye on the right-back and center-back markets, where Kyle Walker was a crucial figure in defense. But with his departure, there is an immediate need to find a quality replacement for that role. Additionally, Guardiola has shown a preference for having versatile options in the squad, players who can operate in different positions and quickly adapt to the team's needs. Meanwhile, the continued presence of Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne remains vital for City's success. Both players are key to Guardiola's offensive strategy, and the manager must ensure they continue to be provided with the right assists to keep the team competitive on all fronts, whether in the Premier League, the Champions League, or other domestic and international competitions. And speaking of Haaland, we cannot forget that the Norwegian striker has been one of the main contributors to City's recent achievements, with his extraordinary performances and impressive goal tally. The combination of Haaland and De Bruyne has been one of the most formidable partnerships in European football, and with this, Guardiola must ensure that the squad around them continues to grow and evolve. Of course, Manchester City is not just about individual stars, but about collective work. And this is what makes the team so successful under Pep Guardiola's management. The Catalan manager has once again demonstrated his ability to develop a balanced squad, where all players, regardless of name or status, have a crucial role to play. Therefore, the movements in the transfer market are always part of a larger plan, a plan aimed at ensuring the team remains strong for many years to come. Now the question is, with all these movements in the market, how do you think Manchester City should prepare for the future? Should they invest in more youth and potential, or focus on well-established and experienced names? Walker's departure, the possible arrival of Zubimendi, and interest in Douglas Luiz point to a Manchester City that is ready to adapt and strengthen, but the decisions made in the coming months could determine the path to future titles. So, what do you think of Manchester City's latest moves? Will the departure of Kyle Walker, the potential arrival of Zubimendi, and interest in Douglas Luiz really transform the team? Leave your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on everything Manchester City. See you next time, City fans. A big hug.